Hello, everyone. Welcome to the tea break. I'm Varun, and this is where we talk most things cricket. And today we're going to talk about the third test match between India and England at Ahmedabad, the day night test, which finished inside of 2 days. India beat England by 10 wickets, a very comprehensive victory today. Before we start talking about the wider themes about the game or around this particular game, I want to talk about the players who made the biggest impact in the game because I think that's the most important thing we need to talk about first. So let's start with the man of the match, Axar Patel. After the last test match, I said in the tea break that there could not have been a better wicket made for Axar Patel than the Chennai wicket in the second test match, and I was I was clearly wrong because this was a much better wicket made for Akshar Patel in the third Test match of this Test series. The ball was gripping and turning from day one. The England batsman did not know what was going on most of the time. But why I want to talk about Akshar is because of his accuracy. He was pitching the ball in the same spot over and over and over again throughout his spell. In the first innings, he I think bowled about 21 overs on the trot. In the second innings, he bowled another 16 overs on the trot. I mean, you can keep getting wickets, but whatever people say, that's not an easy thing to do, and that's not an easy skill to have. And he's gained that skill by playing a lot of domestic cricket, which is great for him. Deserves all the accolades he's getting now. Taken 3 5 wicket hauls in his first couple of Test matches. Test cricket is quite easy for him at the moment, and hope it stays that way. The second player to talk about is Ravichandran Ashwin. As Virat Kohli rightly said in his post-match presentation, that Ashwin is a modern-day great. 400 Test wickets, second fastest to do it after Muralitharan, and he is truly an amazing bowler. And the thing that really stuck in my mind from this game about Ashwin were the 2 wickets of Ollie Pope. The same balls in both the innings, hitting the same spot and going straight on, which is not his normal delivery. Terrific, got him bowled. And then it also reminded me of the Alistair Cook dismissals in England when he got him bowled on the off stump. The same balls, the traditional off spinners, but hitting the same spot, turning away from Cook and bowling him in England. And this time we did it to Ollie Pope, who is a far less skilled batsman, but amazing bowling. And then also not to feel too bad about himself, just let Washington take that final wicket and missed his 5 wicket all. Ashwin did, but just a great bowler, and he has a lot more years to go in Test cricket. I've said that before as well, that I would prefer him not to be picked in one day and T20s and just make him a proper Test match bowler in every condition, every wicket, every game going forward, and he's going to take a lot more wickets. The third player I want to talk about is Rohit Sharma and his impact in the game. He's scored quarter of the runs of the entire Test match, and he just made batting look so simple, not only on this wicket but also in Chennai. And if you take away his runs, I think India were also in a lot of trouble in their batting innings or in their first batting innings. So he's made a massive difference on Indian wickets. He's averaging more than 85. He's a great player. We all know that. In Test cricket we didn't, but now everyone's starting to realize that that one Test match opening spot is pretty much sealed by Rohit Sharma, and then there's going to be a lot of fight for the next opening slot between Shubman Gill, Mayank Agarwal, and Prithvi Shaw, who is coming back into form in domestic cricket as well. But Rohit Sharma, massive impact, super player. To be honest, I think he's going to be the man of the series because both in Chennai and in Ahmedabad, he was very close to being the man of the match, but it went to the bowlers. The final player, before I move on to wider themes, I want to speak about is Joe Root. I thought his captaincy was exceptional. Like I said yesterday, they picked the right team. They picked their top bowlers to come in and bowl India out, so they were going for the win. Today, when Anderson was bowling to Pant, he took Anderson off and came on himself. And then you could see the impact that Joe Root had on the game. 5 wickets. He didn't give away any runs at one point. He had 3 overs, 3 maidens, and 3 wickets. Terrific bowling. The wicket of Washington Sundar, any top bowler would have been proud of that, pitching on middle, turning away, hitting top of off, and you could see that celebration from Joe Root. I think England at that point thought that they were in the game, rightfully so. They were in the game. Yesterday we said that if they restrict India to a lead of around 80, they will still be in the game. They restricted India to a lead of 33, and from there, if England would have scored about 170, 150 to 170, this match could have been very, very tight. But that was not to happen. There was another batting collapse, which is the theme now I want to talk about, is the batting collapses in India by England and then also by India, because India has also pretty much collapsed today from 99 for 3 to 140 odd all out, and it's not great viewing. And why that is happening, in my opinion, is that for the England batsmen, it's pretty clear. In the subcontinent conditions, they just cannot handle. They're not skilled enough to handle the turn, other than a couple of batsmen that they have. When it was about Sri Lanka, if you look at the overall scorecards, it was Joe Root who was scoring all the runs, and then there were very small contributions around him, and the bowling wasn't as great. But when you come to India and you face top quality spin bowlers like Ashwin and Axar, you're going to struggle. And when Joe Root got out, it was pretty much clear that there was a collapse in order. Same with India. When Kohli got out last night, there was just an absolute collapse after that. And I think that that's happening for both these teams because there's no circuit breaker in the middle order. The middle order is all full of attacking batsmen. So if you look at England, they've got Bairstow, they've got Stokes, they've got Foakes, and they've got Ollie Pope, who's probably not attacking, but he's a very young, inexperienced batsman. India, after Pujara, don't have a circuit breaker. Rahane can play that role, but in India, he's not a good batsman, or not as a good batsman as he is abroad, and he can't play that circuit breaker role to just hold one end up so that the house of cards doesn't collapse. And that's what's happening at the moment for both teams, which they need to stop very quickly. And then the final topic, everyone's favorite topic, is absolutely the pitch. Now here we need to separate out two things, because the narrative on social media is turning into, oh, the pitch was bad, hence India won. That's not the case at all. India won because they outplayed England, because they were more skilled than England, and because they had more intent and more will to win the game than England did, and hence they won because both teams played on the same pitch. That does not mean the pitch was good. Any test match that finishes in less than 2 days, the pitch needs to be scrutinized, the pitch needs to be looked at to see what was wrong. A lot of people have talking about this being like a day 4 pitch. I tend to agree with them, but that is not the reason for India's win. Now, why the pitch was made like this is anyone's guess, and like I said, there needs to be a review around it. Was there enough time to prepare it? During COVID times, was it mandated that there needs to be a turning wicket, which is completely fair? There needs to be a turning wicket in India, but then does that mean that it disintegrates so quickly as it did today? And then finally, I want to just spare a thought. I consider myself a fast bowler. Well, not not that fast, but I want to just spare a thought for the fast bowlers in this test match, who did not have anything to do but to just field. And as Bumrah said, workload, their workload was being managed. So it was Bumrah, Ishant, uh, Anderson, Broad, and Archer. Poor guys just fielding. Thankfully, not too long to field because the test match was over in less than 2 days. Now we'll be back for the next test, the final test match that will decide whether India or Australia make it to the World Test Championship. If it is another turning track, I can bet my house it'll be India to go in, but you can't count England out as of yet. You can't count any team out nowadays in international cricket, because the way you saw Indian batting collapse, it can happen again, and England might just win the last test. So it's going to be exciting, folks, and I will see you when the test match starts, if not earlier, with some other videos about cricket. Thank you and bye.